Geography. Our country, India. Location, extent, and neighboring countries. Location, extent, and neighboring countries. India is located almost in the middle of the southern end of the continent of Asia, and it lies entirely in the northern hemisphere. India is divided into almost two equal halves by the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. The part of India that lies below the Tropic of Cancer, also known as Peninsular India, lies in the tropical zone. At the same time, the climate of North India is almost continental in nature. Of the world's total population, 16% lives in India, or in other words, we can say that 1% out of every 6 persons in the world lives in India. With respect to size, India is the 7th largest country in the world. The land boundaries of India are shared with 7 other neighboring countries. In the northwest, our neighbors include Pakistan and Afghanistan, the latter being only a small corridor. The north is bordered by China, Nepal, and Bhutan. And to the east, we have Bangladesh and Myanmar as our neighbors. India is separated from Sri Lanka by the Park Strait. The standard meridian of India, 82.5 degree east, passes through Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh, and this forms the basis of the Indian Standard Time, IST. The IST is 5 hours and 30 minutes ahead of the UTC. The Eastern Hemisphere includes that part of the earth that lies east of the Atlantic Ocean, with its boundaries at 20 degree west and 160 degree east. India lies in the Eastern Hemisphere. With respect to the longitudinal extent of the Eastern Hemisphere, India occupies the central position. Geographic extent of India. Latitudinal extent 8 degree 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north. Longitudinal extent 68 degree 7 minute east and 97 degree 25 minute east. North Kashmir to south Kanyakumari extent 3214 km. West Gujarat to east Arunachal Pradesh 2933 km. Length of land frontier from Gujarat to Kolkata via northern boundary 15,200 km. Total length of coastline 7,516.6 km. Total land area 3287,263 square kilometer. India political. There are 28 states and 7 union territories in India. The different states and their capitals are given below. States, capitals: Andhra Pradesh, Hyderabad; Arunachal Pradesh, Itanagar; Assam, Dispur; Bihar, Patna; Chhattisgarh, Raipur; Goa, Panji; Gujarat, Gandhinagar; Haryana, Chandigarh; Himachal Pradesh, Shimla; Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar; Jharkhand, Ranchi; Kerala, Tiruvananthapuram; Karnataka, Bengaluru; Madhya Pradesh, Bhopal; Maharashtra, Mumbai; Manipur, Imphal; Meghalaya, Shillong; Mizoram, Aizawl; Nagaland, Kohima; Orissa, Bhubaneswar; Punjab, Chandigarh; Rajasthan, Jaipur; Sikkim, Gangtok; Tamil Nadu, Chennai; Uttarakhand, Dehradun; Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow; Tripura, Agartala; West Bengal, Kolkata. The Union Territories with their capitals are given below. Union Territories. Capitals: Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Port Blair; Chandigarh, Chandigarh; Dadra and Nagar Haveli, Silvassa; Daman and Diu, Daman; Lakshadweep, Kavarati; Puducherry, Pondicherry; National Capital Territory of Delhi, Delhi. In terms of area, the largest state in India is Rajasthan, while the smallest state is Goa. Each state is divided into districts for the sake of administrative convenience. So, there are 604 districts in India. The governance of the Republic of India is based on our constitution, which lists out the division of powers between the centre and the states. At the central and at the state level, there are 3 arms of the government, namely the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. India, physical. India is a country with diverse relief features. They are classified mainly into 6 physical divisions: the Northern Mountains, the Plains, the Indian Plateau, Western and Eastern Ghats, the Coastal Plains, and the Great Indian Desert. There are 2 groups of islands that are located in the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean, which belong to India. They are the Lakshadweep Islands and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, respectively. The Northern Mountains. The Trans-Himalayan Ranges are the mountain ranges that are situated farther away from the Himalayas. The eastward extension of the Himalayas in the northeastern region of India is known as Purvanchal or the Eastern Hills. These ranges are arc-shaped and extend to about 2005 km in length. It has a width of about 400 kilometers in the west, while in the east the width is only about 150 kilometers. The Himalayas comprise of 3 parallel ranges, namely the Himdari, the Himachal, and the Shivalik. The North Indian Plains. The extent of the North Indian Plains is from the Indus Plain in the west to the Brahmaputra Valley in the east. It has a total length of about 2,500 kilometers. The breadth varies from 150 kilometers to 180 kilometers. The delta that is formed at the mouth of the rivers Ganga and Brahmaputra is the largest delta in the world. It's a stretch of impenetrable mangrove forest of great size and biodiversity and is known as Sundarbans or beautiful forest. The Sundarbans is crisscrossed by hundreds of creeks and tributaries, and this region is covered with mangrove swamps. The Great Indian Desert. The Thar Desert, also known as the Great Indian Desert or the Rajasthan Desert, is a large, arid region in the northwestern part of the Indian subcontinent. It lies west of Aravallis. In the west, it merges with the Sindh Desert of Pakistan. It is a somewhat flat and low-lying extensive sandy Sambhar Lake, the largest saline lake in India, is situated here. India Physiographic Division. The landmass of the earth is made up of rocks that have different resistance to erosion. This is known as physiographic division. Based on altitude, the regions of India can be divided into different physiographic divisions. The physiographic divisions of India are the Great Himalayan Ranges, the Northern Plains, the Peninsular Plateau, the Coastal Plains, and the Islands. The Northern Mountains, or the Great Himalayan Ranges, are made up of both metamorphic and sedimentary rocks, whereas the Northern Plain is made of hard igneous rocks. The Chota Nagpur Plateau is made up of hard rocks like basalt. The coastal plains, like the northern plains, have a thin cover of alluvial soil. Peninsular India. A peninsula is a piece of land that projects into a body of water and is completely surrounded by water on three sides. The plateau of peninsular India is a typical example of a peninsula. This plateau extends over an area of nearly 65,509 square kilometers. This is formed by the accumulation of many thick layers of basaltic lava over nearly 50 million years. The river Narmada that flows through this plateau divides into two: the Malwa Plateau in the north and the Deccan Plateau in the south. On the east and the west of this plateau, the two sides are bordered by the eastern and the western Ghats. The average height of the hills that form the western Ghats is 1200 meters, but there are peaks that are as high as 2500 meters. The western Ghats are relatively higher towards the south. There are many rivers like the Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri that break up the eastern Ghats into smaller hills. The converging point of the eastern and the western Ghats is the Nilgiris, where Doda Beta at 2,637 meters is the highest peak. To the east and west of the eastern and western Ghats lie the coastal plains. The average width of the western coastal plain is 65 kilometers, but it increases towards the south, where it is about 100 kilometers. The western coastal plain has, in addition to the Ganga-Brahmaputra Delta in the north, the deltas formed by the rivers Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. There are two island groups that belong to India, namely the Lakshadweep Islands in the Arabian Sea and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands in the Indian Ocean. While the former group consists of 27 islands, of which nearly half are inhabited. The latter consists of 572 islands and islets, of which there is habitation in only 38. All these islands are actually peaks of undersea mountains. Coastal areas. People lose their lives and considerable damage to property also is caused. The most common among the natural disasters that the coast and the islands have to face include tsunamis, cyclones, floods, storms, etc. Though there are many factors that cause a tsunami, submarine earthquake is one of the most common one. The tsunami of December 2004 began as an earthquake on the floor of the ocean near Sumatra in Indonesia. This set of tidal waves that caused phenomenal damages in more than 15 countries of Southeast Asia. Countless number of deaths occurred, though the official toll was put at 2.5 lakh people, and the damage of property cannot be accurately assessed even today. The tidal waves were so powerful that they travelled till the eastern coast of India and Sri Lanka, causing damage and death in these parts also. The aftermath of the tsunami brought about many diseases, due to which the death toll further increased. The tsunami caused much damage in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The retreating tsunami waves took away the precious topsoil mud from many parts of the islands. This mud is the natural habitat of any tiny marine animal known as polyps, which are very environment sensitive animals. The skeletons of these polyps form the coral reefs beneath the coastal waters of these islands. The tsunami floods damage these coral reefs. The extent of this damage is being assessed by scientists even now. For the people living in the coastal areas and the islands, the tsunami of 2004 is still a nightmare. Many relief camps were set up by the Government of India as well as other non-governmental agencies for the rehabilitation of those affected by the tsunami. The Government of India has actively undertaken a study on the feasibility of a tsunami early warning alert system. The December 2004 tsunami has caused displacement and a change in the equilibrium of the floor of the ocean, leading to rise in sea levels of the Indian Ocean. Indira Point, which is the southernmost island of India, became submerged under the sea as a result of the tsunami. There is a constant risk of rising sea level due to melting of glaciers on mountains like the Himalayas and the Alps, and also because of the melting of ice sheets of Antarctica. Because of this, several low-lying coastal areas face the risk of being submerged in future.